back to Honest Books, and today we're going to be doing a book review on An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Alright, so I read this book. It was really good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, complete 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was very beautiful and very fantastic. And if you would like, I would like to get into a very non-spoily aspect, and then I will get into a very spoily aspect. But first, let's get into the synopsis. So, in Ember in the Ashes, we follow two main characters. We get both their perspectives throughout the entire book. The first character's name is Leia. I believe that's how you say her name. She pretty much lost a lot of her family. Her parents both died along with her oldest sister, and she's living with her grandma and grandpa and her brother actually gets them in a lot of trouble, and he gets locked up in prison, and she has to go and try to save him. But to do that, she actually has to get a connection with the resistance. So it's actually like a problem going on inside the world that she's living in. There is an empire that pretty much takes control of everything, and then there's a resistance that is actually resisting the empire and trying to fight against it. She actually goes to the resistance and tries to get help from them to free her brother, because he was apparently in with the resistance or something like that, and she thought that they could help her out. And so to help her out, the resistance actually felt like they needed something from her, and they actually sent her to be a spy inside of the Empire Blackcliff Academy building, where she would be a slave for the president of the actual academy itself. And during her time there, she's trying to find clues to give to the resistance to help free her brother. So the second perspective we actually follow is Elias. Oh my god, I'm terrible with names. I just listen to things in my brain and I go based off that. So he actually is a student at Blackcliff Academy, and he is the son of the president, like I spoke of earlier. And he pretty much doesn't like how everything is going. He's not for the empire type life. Whenever you actually go to the academy, you become a mask, and you wear these masks on your face, and you actually you're kind of soldiers for the empire, pretty much. He doesn't want that life. He's trying to escape it, and he's pretty much about to leave it when he graduates, but he's stopped by these trials that are going on to elect the next empire. And so it's pretty much just their stories together. They pretty much have some type of conflict, and they help each other out at some point. And so yeah, if you would like to check out this book, I will leave a link in the description of where you may buy it. And yeah, so right now at this point, I'm going to get into the spoily aspect of this review. So if you haven't read this book, please leave. The door is open, and you may close it on your way out, but be gentle because we're trying to read in here. Alright, so we've all read An Empire in the Ashes. Apparently, if you haven't left, it was great, right? I actually really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really interesting, and there was a lot of depth to it, and the plot had a lot of twists and turns and things I didn't see coming. And I actually really enjoyed the character development in it. I thought both the characters had great character development. Just gets me all riled up. So our main characters, I really liked Leia. I thought she was really interesting. I thought her character development grows so much throughout the entire book. In the beginning, she's kind of this weak character, and we don't know if she's going to be great for the resistance, and I was kind of iffy on her actually being a slave, and I didn't think she would actually make it, but I was rooting for her, because you're supposed to do that with your main character. You're supposed to root for them. You just see by the end of the book how much character development she went through. And I mean, she went through a lot of shit, am I right? By the last few chapters, where she's helping out and trying to break through Elias whenever he's about to be killed, and she's just so kick-ass, and she has so much confidence now, and she's just grown so much as a character, and I just really enjoyed that. I really like hardcore character development, and I felt from the first chapter and the last chapter, she just had so much growth. And it really made me happy. And so Elias, I thought he also went through a lot of character development, but it was a little bit of a subtle one. He was really iffy on a lot of things that were going on in his life, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to do some things, and there was just a lot of twists and turns and a lot of politics in the empire, and he didn't know what side to be on, and he really just wanted to get out of there and leave and not have to deal with this, but people just kept pulling him back, and he couldn't get out of it. And I know what it's like, And it was just so frustrating to read it through his eyes because he just felt so defeated and he felt so confused. And I could relate with him, but I mean, I can't obviously relate with him because I'm not dealing with this situation, but like through the type of themes he went through are really relatable. And like all of the portions where he had to like kill people and like try to get forward in these trials were just so crazy. That one trial where like there was like this huge battle and everyone was fighting and killing each other, and the last person standing was supposed to be like the next empire, and it was just so crazy what these type of trials would do to you. And you go like, you do these like 10 years at this academy and you have the opportunity to become the next empire, and they just kill you. They're just like, you have this great opportunity to become an empire, but you might die. You might die. It's just all of these type of like books I've been reading have these like tests that you need to go through, and they're life-threatening and they will kill you eventually. And it's just so overwhelming to think that this thing might actually happen sometime in the world, that this type of situation might happen to some people, or you might have to go through some tests to like get to something, and it could be murdering people, and it's just crazy to think about it. So all of these characters in this book were really greatly written. Like, I loved every character in this book, even the villains. Like, I think one of my most loved characters was actually Kitchen Girl, if you know what I'm talking about. Izzy, I think was her name. She was a good character. She like was willing to help through anything, and she didn't care what kind of consequences it has because like her life's already pretty much total shit. And she just felt like she should actually do something with her life instead of just living her life as a slave and eventually dying as a slave, because I mean, she's not gonna get out of this. And she just felt like she could actually give something to the world if she helped out Layla and Elias to actually get free, and to like help her find clues to give to the resistance to save her brother and eventually hopefully save her. And she was just a really well written side character. And like even like other side characters that she wrote, like the chef or like Elias's mom, she was like one of the villains in the story, but she was so well written. And I really enjoyed that one scene where he's like about to be killed or exiled, and she's just telling him about like her life and why she has these views toward him and why she's hated him pretty much his entire life. And it like made her seem as a human for like just a little second, but it really didn't. And it was just so beautifully written. I really enjoyed Sabaa Tahir's writing, and I felt like she was an amazing author, and I think this is actually like her debut book, and it was a fucking awesome one, am I right? And I really can't wait for that second book to come out. It's going to be amazing. And like the ending of that book where they're like going out somewhat into the sunset and they're like going to go save her brother, I just pretty much imagined what was gonna happen. Like they're going through all these different types of things together and like all these adventures of like getting to the prison and breaking him out and all this other stuff. And to think that this might have not even been a series, apparently, is shocking. Because that was a cliffhanger and I needed more. And I really can't wait for the next adventure. I think it's going to be amazing. And there's just going to be even more conflict and even more battles and even more love. And one thing about this book is that it wasn't focused on the love aspect. Of course there was one, because what YA book doesn't have a romance for the most part? But it wasn't focused on it. The main focus was actually the politics in the actual empire itself. That was something I really enjoyed about it. I mean, it wasn't a strong one because it wasn't the main focus, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought their love interest was nice. And the one with Keenan, I think that's what his name was, it was good, but I felt like I couldn't trust him, and so I didn't really want him with our girl. But I feel like Elias might be actually really good love interest for her. And they'll be probably spending a lot of time with each other in the desert trying to go to the prison, and they're probably just going to spark more of a relationship. That was a lot of thoughts on this book, am I right? But it was really good. Like I said, 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend. So, oh, man. I feel like I just talked forever. But if you would like, please leave what you thought in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your feedback was and how you actually enjoyed this book. Are your thoughts the same as mine, or are they a little different? Did you enjoy this book or did you not enjoy it? I really, really want to know. And also, if you like, please give it a thumbs up, because it really helps me out by knowing you actually enjoyed the content I I create. And if you'd like, you may subscribe because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So yeah, thanks for watching.